Testing, 1, 2, 3. Live from Oak Ridge Baseball. Testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing, 1, 2, 3. Test 1, 2, test 1, 2. Oak Ridge Baseball coming up in 3 minutes. 3 minutes till Oak Ridge Baseball.
Wildcats. We will start with the starting lineup, starting with the visiting Knights. Batting first and playing center field, number 9, Ryan Newell. Batting second and playing right field, number 13, Cale Barney. Batting third and catching, number 16, Evan McElvain. Batting fourth and playing shortstop, number 1, Kyson Barney. Number 12, Griffin Hendrickson. He will be batting for the pitcher, number 28, Hutch Reed. Batting sixth and playing left field, number 4, Tyler Barth. Batting seventh and playing first base, number 29, Parker Vandercook. Batting eighth and playing third base, number 3, Tanner Jackson. And rounding out the lineup, the second baseman, number 2, William Satinoff. The Knights are coached by head coach Zach Hudson, assisted by George Jones, Carlos Mosley, Eric Joyner, Gary Garrett, and Lee Bond. And now for the starting lineup for your Oak Ridge Wildcats. Batting first and playing center field, number 4, Warren East. Batting second and playing right field, number 9, Brooke Cody. Batting third Batting sixth and playing second base, number 6, Renninger. Batting seventh and playing left field, number 5, Batting eighth, your designated hitter, number 21, Isaiah Wilson. He will be hitting for the pitcher tonight, number 22, Jackson Gary. And rounding out the lineup for the Wildcats, your shortstop, number 1, Noah Wood. The Wildcats are coached by head coach Travis Free, assisted by Spencer McMurdo, Nate Hoffmeister, Kevin McCreaston, Jeremiah Hall, Kyle Gary, and Jeff Ulrich.
Welcome to another broadcast of Oak Ridge High School Athletics here on Prep Radio and all our Prep Radio channels. We're on YouTube today as we get ready to honor the country with the national
and
anthem.
Thank all active duty service members and veterans who have served and sacrificed for our freedom. Please remain standing for the playing of our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we held at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars the rule the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Back to Bobby Hopkins Park after this short break. Welcome into our broadcast of Oak Ridge High School baseball as we get set to go underway. Here's the first pitch, and it misses away and outside. Alex Myers with you. Mike Sheehan to my left as we sit here from Bobby Hopkins Park in the Secret City on the top row of the bleachers. Hopefully this view's a little bit better. I know we had some folks saying the net was a little bit problematic when we were directly behind home plate. Pitch number 2 is in there for a strike. And unfortunately, we can't really get around the netting, but if we move back, Mike, maybe it'll look a little bit better.
I definitely will, because I was watching it Thursday night, and the camera view wasn't very good. You couldn't get a panoramic view as you're going to get tonight here up in the stand.
Near miss there is called a ball, so it's 2-1 here in the first batter as Jackson Geary is the pitcher tonight for the Wildcats. Ryan Poole, the batter, fouls the fourth pitch off, and it's all even at 2-2, the count. We apologize for the kind of last-minuteness of this broadcast, as I had prior obligations for work and wasn't able to get over to you until about 11:25, and so we've been scrambling, and I think we're up and ready to go now. As another pitch is fouled off, and Poole stays alive. He wears number 9. He is the leadoff man for this Nolensville team that I believe played Farragut last night, I believe. Talking to one of the parents yesterday as they round out their East Tennessee trip this afternoon. Beautiful day for baseball. It's going to get nasty later, but I think we're going to be able to squeeze this one in as it swung on a miss for strike 3. The throw down to first to make sure, and he is out. Webb at first fields it cleanly. And that's out number 1 for Geary.
Now for the ninth, the right fielder, number
right fielder will step in
Cale Barney.
at the 2-hole. For Nolensville. And sees a nice pitch pipe down the middle, and he pulls it a little bit. Can't quite get it fair. And that's foul for strike number 1. Bobby Hopkins Park, Mike, I know that you've been here several times over the last few years. I have as well, but if folks at home haven't, this park, since Coach Free arrived here, as this one's going to be in foul territory, lifted up. Mikey's going to track back. He's going to be able to field it, and he does so. And Teasley records out number 2. It looked like a routine play, but Mike, those who are watching at home, the trees haven't really started to bloom, so you can't tell on the camera, but there is a wicked wind, and it's gusty. So there will be moments where there's no wind, and then 15, 20-mile-an-hour gusts out of the blue. And so some of these routine fly balls that look routine may not be today.
Yeah, exactly right. It'd be also, besides baseball, this would be a great day to fly a kite.
And this one's a little bit outside, stays safe there for the dangerous 3-spot hitter for Nolensville. But this park just looks tremendous. I mean, what they've done with the outfield wall, what they've done with the turf here instead of the actual dirt. It's turf in the batter's box, so you're not having to go out there and rake and things like that. But this just becoming a really beautiful facility. They've redone the brick around the home plate. Obviously, new bleachers, a new press box. This is a sight to behold.
It definitely is. You know, I went to Knox Central Thursday night of this week, and they've at Tommy Shumpert Park, they've built a whole new stadium for them on the outside, and the field looks a whole lot like this. 2 beautiful high school fields, Oak Ridge and Central.
That was a beautiful high school pitch right there, in for strike 2. The 2s across the board. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs here in the top of the first as Geary looks to retire the side. Here comes the pitch. And he squeezed it in there on the outside corner as Parker Free is fired up as he sees his pitcher go 1, 2, 3 in the first. We'll be back after this as Oak Ridge will have the top of the lineup up. As we welcome you back, as we head to the bottom of the first, it's Weaver Hutch on the mound on the bump tonight for Nolensville. Up first will be the center fielder, number 4, Warren East. This is your first game catching the Wildcats this year. We want to say thanks for tuning in, but also want to let you know Warren East, just a sophomore. Last year as a freshman, Mike, if you remember, he set the all-time program record for single-season hits as a freshman. So he's back as a sophomore, squares up to bunt, pulls that one away. Didn't like it, but they're going to say it caught the corner for a strike, so it's 0-1 for the star Warren East. Brooks Poteet is in the 2-hole on deck, and following him up for the top 3 will be Mikey Teasley, playing third base today. Second pitch goes in for a ball. It's 1-1 as the third pitch approaches. Heavy swing there from East, but he cannot connect, and it's 1-2. He's in a bit of a hole here on his first plate appearance here in the bottom of the first. Wind kicks up behind us. If he can get this one in the air, it could travel. And he does just that. It's not going to make it quite far enough, though, as the center fielder had a little bit of trouble for a moment, but he tracked it down and got up under it for the first out. Mikey Teasley, Webb, some of these guys that have a lot of power, Mike, they're gonna like this wind at their back, because it is at their back. So if any of these guys hit a hard ball towards the outfield, this wind could carry a ball over the fence.
And believe me, they can bust it too. This is a very good hitting team for the Wildcats.
The lefty Brooks Poteet steps up to the plate and watches one in there on the far outside, but just in there for a strike. Count is 0-1 with one out here in the bottom of the first. That one goes a little high and inside for ball 1. Mike, baseball broadcasting requires something that, quite frankly, I'm not real good at, which is dead air, meaning you don't have to talk every moment. And Mike, between you and I, there's not a lot of dead air out there. We kind of use most of the oxygen in a ballpark, don't we? I want to thank you, Mike, for taking the stats today. 2-1 the count. Here's the pitch. Hard liner to right field, and Brooks Poteet will get in there easily with a grounder.
With a single.
Single gets him to first base. So one out as Mikey Teasley steps up, and here's a guy who's got power. He hit a home run in the first ball game of the season over at Central. And the right-hander will step into the box with a man on first and only one out here in the bottom of the first. Mikey cordial to opposing teams. He knows so many players from playing for so long and playing in travel ball and all-star tournaments. Not many unfamiliar faces for Mikey as he watches ball 1 go low and inside. It's the wind, probably a solid, steady 10 miles an hour behind us right now, Mike.
At least.
Pitcher looks to first, and he's going to throw that way, and no problem for Poteet as he slides safely back to first. And what a difference it makes having a runner on first when you've got such a locked-in hitter and dangerous hitter at the plate like Teasley. Takes all the focus a pitcher has, and if you can distract him just a little bit, it can be dangerous. Speaking of dangerous, the ball goes towards the Oak Ridge dugout as Teasley fouls it off, and the bat went towards the third base coach, which is Travis Free. So Coach Free kind of shakes that one off. Nobody hurt. A few people scared. But Teasley shares a laugh, and he'll step back in there as it'll be 2-1 the count with one out and a runner on first for Teasley.
Just go to show how hard he can swing. I saw him at Central the other night. He hit one 340 feet. I mean, it was a blast. This young man can really bust a baseball.
Teasley stares down the pitcher. Here's the pitch. And this one's going to be fouled up and behind us, behind the press box. Shout out to Mr. Hudson on the grill back there. And the count remains 1 ball, 2 strikes with an out here. And Brooks Poteet, the 2-hole hitter, over on first base. Mikey trying to get him into scoring position with a single. He speedy Poteet could potentially get to third if he can just put the ball in play here. Teasley eyes the pitcher. The runner from first goes. It's ripped back up the middle into the outfield. Poteet rounds second. Teasley goes to first. Poteet will be held safely at third, and runners are on the corner just like that. What a shot from Teasley. A hard liner right back up the gut. Hopped over the second base, and runners at the corners. Mike, in scoring position is Poteet at third. Only one out as Parker Free comes to the plate. Now, of course, if you're Nolensville, a double play is in play here, and it would end the inning. So if you're Parker, an out's not the worst thing in the world. You just can't hit a ground out where you could get doubled up. A fly ball to just about anywhere other than left field would score Poteet. So that's the situation. One out, runners on first and third for the four-hole hitter, Free. Free watches strike one go in, gets a feel of it, looks back at the dugout.
I tell you what, he can hit it a long ways too. Him and Mikey went back to back Thursday night. Two tremendous long ball hitters.
Another player that will be playing in college, and here is a rope to right field. It's going to be caught, and that's no problem, though, because it will advance Poteet as he trots down the third base line and scores the first run of the night. So Brooks Poteet gets across the plate. Teasley is held at first on an athletic play by the right fielder to jump and grab that one, but no harm, no foul, as it does score a run. Leaves Teasley, the lone man on the base paths for the Wildcats, at first base, as Joe Webb, the Vanderbilt commit, steps into the plate. So through your first 5 hitters in a high school baseball uniform, you've got the all-time leading single-season hits leader at leadoff. Then you've got a Tennessee signee and a Vanderbilt commit and a Kennesaw State commit. That's a whale of a lineup for opposing pitcher to face.
Yeah, unbelievable that both Joe Webb and Mikey Teasley are preseason all-state players.
A couple of Mr. Baseball potential finalists. Of course, Mikey won Mr. Baseball last year. He'd love to go back-to-back. And Joe sees one down the middle, doesn't quite get it cleanly, as it's going to be fouled way out of play. And the count will go to 1-1. Again, Teasley, the runner at first. He advanced Poteet from first to third on a liner up the middle. And then Parker Free, the sac fly to right field, got Poteet across home plate. 2 outs here. Webb looks at this pitch. Good pitch. And Webb knows it, too. He knows he missed one there as he kind of shifted his head almost as if to say, I knew I should have had that one.
Yeah, he wanted to swing at that one for sure.
Runner is going to be caught in a rundown. That's Teasley. It doesn't matter. He got there anyways. They picked him off, but he did not hesitate. And sometimes that's all you need to do as a runner. You just make a decision and go with it, Mike. He decided he was going. They picked him off. And because he didn't hesitate, he was able to get there cleanly. So now, grounder into the outfield would likely score the second run of the ball game. As Webb has 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs, as Teasley is now in scoring position at second. Teasley's going to try to steal third, and here's a rip to center field. It drops. Teasley rounds third, and he'll cross home plate as Joe Webb gets an RBI with 2 outs, and he's on first base. 2-0 Wildcats here in the first inning as the sun peeks from behind the clouds, warms us up a little bit, and the offense from Oak Ridge is warming up a little bit too, Mike.
Yeah, 2 runs already here in the first inning. Got 2 outs. Everything's looking good for the Wildcats. I really love watching this team play because they can hit the ball so very well.
There's a guy, good player for the Wildcats, a lot of experience, Whit Reniger from last season. Reniger, the 6-hole hitter, steps in for the Wildcats with 2 outs and a runner, Joe Webb, with a decent-sized lead at first base. Reniger watches a curve ball that doesn't quite get down, falling there for ball 1. Kevin McKeithen, first base coach, giving instructions to Webb. Takes another sizable lead as Reniger is at the plate with 2 outs. Here's the pitch. Curveball misses low again. And there's 2 balls, no strikes. If he's able to reach base in the 7-hole, coming up to bat would be Carson Fagan. That's another miss, that time low and outside, and it's 3-0. As I apologize, I called Warren East a freshman last year. He was a sophomore last year, so I'm getting my years confused. Time flies when you get old, Mike. I'm going to say that as my excuse at least, as I appreciate that correction, as Warren East is a junior. There's ball 4, so Fagan will come to the plate with runners at first and second, as sort of getting in the danger zone here if you're Nolensville, because that's 4 straight balls, and you don't want to lose control here
Now
early on in this
Bridge,
game.
the left fielder, number 5, Carson Fagan.
Don't you lie.
Fagan steps in, the right-handed hitter, again 2 on for him. Runners at first and second with 2 outs here in the bottom of the first, with the Wildcats lead at 2-0. East and Teasley scored as he sets up to bunt, but pulls back as that one's inside. As this pitcher, I think 3 pitches in a row have been balls on that side of the strike zone. He's just missing right now. He's a lefty, the southpaw, struggling to find some command. 5 straight balls thrown. If you're Fagan, I think at this point, Mike, you make him throw you one. Prove that he can hit one. Try to pick off Webb at second to no avail. He slides back in safely.
Nope.
As Fagan resets. And awaits the pitch. That's a good pitch, but I don't blame him for not swinging, Mike. You got to, at some point, when he throws 5 straight balls, you got to make him prove that he can throw one. So now we're back in action. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs. Again, runners on first and second for the batter, Fagan. Weaver Hutch, the pitcher for Nolensville. As he watches that one down the middle, but it was a little low. And so now it's 2 balls, 1 strike. So Fagan, if he sees one he likes, will likely be bombs away here, trying to swing and make contact to try to drive in another run. He rips one down the third base line, but it rolls foul, and now we got 2 across the board. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, and 2 runners on base for the Wildcats. Coach Free's team off to a hot start as expected. Talented bunch, well coached, and with their eyes on the prize this year. Fagan awaits. Pitcher takes his time. Runners go. He swings, and that's strike 3, and the inning will end. So 2 across the plate for the Wildcats in a productive first inning as they see 7 batters face Nolensville's pitching staff. And they go to the top of the second up 2-0. Move back to Bobby Hopkins Park in 1 minute. Tyson Barnum steps to the plate. So the Wildcats went 1-2-3 in that first inning, so he's the fourth hitter for Nolensville. This one's a chopper to the right side, soft grounder that's fielded by Webb, and Webb trots over and touches first base. So it's 4 up, 4 down to start this ball game for Oak Ridge and pitcher Jackson Geary. Assistant coaches, we mentioned one of them earlier for the Wildcats, Kevin McKeithen. He's Mr. kind of everything for Oak Ridge. He coaches football, coaches baseball, obviously. Maybe Coach Green can get him on there as an assistant for the basketball team. I don't think he's busy enough, as that's a guy who just really loves athletics. Andy Hudson Jeremiah Ball and Kyle Geary also assisting Coach Free and this staff. First pitch in there for strike 1. Next pitch floated right. It's going to be a foul ball, and not able to make the play is Webb as it went over the fence and out of his reach. But it's 2 strikes now on the 5-hole hitter for Nolensville. Mike, have you ever been to Nolensville?
No, I have not. It's somewhere down in Middle Tennessee, down towards Nashville way, but no, I have never been there.
That's kind of my go-to, is anything within like an hour and a half of Nashville. I pretty much say it's somewhere around Nashville, somewhere around the mid-state. Yeah, suburb. And I saw some Williamson County license plates.
He said it's a suburb of Nashville. I don't doubt it.
In the parking lot. I know that they've got a storied history of athletics, though, as that one is roped down the third base line, foul. Nick brings up the Little League World Series and their history there. And, you know, Mike, I don't know if you've ever noticed this. I loved back in the day when I was a kid, 15, 20 years ago, when you'd watch these. I don't want to get well, maybe I shouldn't say see some of these teams, particularly when they get to the world stage, when they've got guys with full beards and look like their legs are growing out of my arm sockets. And they're claiming that they're 13 years old. It always kind of get a chuckle out of that. Maybe they are, but maybe they're just developing a little quicker. As unfortunately, if you're going to get hit, you'd rather it be a curveball, as that one curved in there and it wasn't very fast, but it did clip the batter on the calf.
Number 4.
So although it was a pitcher's count, he lost control of that one, and their runner will go to first. It's the first runner that Nolensville's seen on base all game. Here comes the pitch. Inside again. Nearly hit another batter. This is Tyler Barth, the left fielder in the 6th hole. It's Griffin Hendrickson is the runner on first. Geary, the pitcher, delivers, and it's piped back up the center field. This could be a double, as a runner from first will round second, easily get to third, and the runner thought about taking second, but he delayed too long, so he'll be stuck at first. However, Nolensville quickly in threatening position to score, as they've got runners at first and third with only 1 out. No trouble through 4 hitters, but the 5 and 6 hole hitters have made some noise here, as Jackson Geary is going to try to get out of this inning unscathed. Free calls out first and third, will remind his teammates where the threats are. Of course, the double plays in play here. If there's a grounder, they could go from second to first to end the inning. If you're Nolensville, that's what you're trying to avoid. As they'll do it here, a pop fly to right field. This will be fielded easily, but the runner from third will score with no throw. However, right fielder gets it in to the second baseman, so they hold the runner at first, but Nolensville is on the board. It's 2-1 Wildcats now. They lead by 1 here in the top of the second, as Poteet catches the ball in right field.
Number 3, Tanner Jackson.
As you hear the dulcet tones of James Branson doing the public address announcements, as he so often does here at Bobby Hopkins Park. Tanner Jackson steps into the plate and swings and foul tips strike number 1. first. Not nearly in time, but gives him something to think about as Geary trots back up onto the bump. And we'll settle in here. In no balls, 1 strike. An 0-1 count here with 2 outs and a runner on first. Geary throws back to first. Webb's there, but the runner is as well, and he's safe at first. Bunt attempt fouled off, and it's quickly 0-2 for the batter. As Mike, I'm looking around here, and it seems like every time I'm in this ballpark over the last couple of years, I say this, but you look around, and what do you see? So many people here. And couldn't ask for much better of an afternoon for it, but it's a consistent thing. When I was coming here 10 years or so ago, you'd see a few students and mostly families. Now there's just people in the community that just like baseball that are coming out here to watch quality product day in and day out. Ball gets past the catcher. It was a little too high for Free to handle, and the runner will advance to second and now is in scoring position with 2 outs. But it's an 0-2 count for the Nolensville hitter, Tanner Jackson. Top of the lineup, nearing the plate for Nolensville. Oak Ridge trying to get out of this inning before that happens. Here's a beautiful pitch. It's going to be a slow roller back up to the second baseman. He gets it, throws it to Webb, makes a diving attempt, and he keeps his foot on the base. What a play as Reniger throws one. It was a little wide, but you know, Joe Webb is all of 6'3", 6'4", and he used every bit of that frame to stretch out. I don't know how he kept that foot from coming off the bat, but it was a heck of a play, Mike.
It certainly was, because I thought it got away from him. But like you said, he needed every inch of his body to catch that ball, and he reached his arm out and he extended it, and the ball, thankfully, he trapped it in his glove for out number 3.
We'll be back in 1 minute to Bobby Hopkins Park as the Wildcats come up to the plate, up 2-1 in the bottom of the second. Welcome you back. Alex Myers with you today in place of David Clary, who's our executive producer today. Mark and Shauna Hayes have the day off, but Mike Sheehan is with me along with Titus Fetters and Nick Suttles, who's helped us set up. We appreciate that. Connor Matthews comments on YouTube that Nolensville is slightly southeast of Nashville in Williamson County, and they're home of the Little League World Champs from a few years ago, he thinks. And so appreciate you, Connor. A game that we don't often play, we kind of forget to do it, but I love doing it, is if you're watching us on YouTube right now, which we've got over 50 people streaming, I'd love to have folks comment where you're listening from. I always find it's interesting to see how far away the furthest person is and see where folks are taking us in. Hopefully, wherever you are, if the weather's similar as it is here, you're at least watching this game outside, because it is a beautiful day. Tonight might get a little shaky with some storms rolling in, and that's why we have this wind. But as of now, we are dry, sunny, breezy. It is a beautiful, beautiful day for baseball. And unfortunately, Mike, I'm trying to be good with what I'm eating, and Mr. Hudson's on the grill right behind us, and the wind's blowing those burgers. The smells are making me hungry, Mike.
Yeah, it's definitely an outstanding aroma.
Aromas, flying kites, you never know what we're going to talk about here. As Oak Ridge steps up to the plate here in the bottom of the second. Strong swing from Isaiah Wilson, the designated hitter for Oak Ridge, in the 8-hole. Another strong swing, but he's quickly down 0-2. Comes the third pitch, and it's in there. He didn't like the pitch, but the umpire says it's a strike, and he'll have to take a walk back to the dugout. Here comes the 9-hole hitter.
Now for Oak Ridge, the shortstop, number 1, Noah.
As Noah Wood steps up to the plate, right-handed hitter. The pitcher is ready for him to go quickly. Here comes the pitch. Good pitch, a little outside, but he gets Wood to swing on it, and he fouls it off. Second pitch fouled off right towards you, Titus. You didn't flinch, though. I'll give you credit. Or Preston. I'm calling you your brother's name. Sorry, Preston. You've been called worse, I'm sure, right?
Yeah, probably, yeah.
How do you like filming baseball games? You haven't filmed a ton of these. You've helped us with football this year for the first time. I think you helped with basketball a little bit. How have you liked baseball?
Honestly, it's probably the easiest one. All I have to do is move the camera like once every while.
No. You're supposed to tell the folks listening. This is incredibly hard. You're basically splitting atoms, solving Rubik's Cubes.
Oh, yeah, I'm pretty much doing all what you just said. I got to find the molecule for everything.
But you do have the hardest job, which is putting up with me and my frustrations as I was trying to get stuff set up and trying to be tech savvy. Trying being the key word, as Noah Wood, while I was spouting off whatever I was spouting, gets a single up the middle. Center fielder fields it on a hop, or on the roll rather, but Wood gets on base. So with one out, Warren East and the top of the order come back up to the plate with a runner on first. East locked and loaded. Here's a swing, high fly ball, drifting off into no man's land. It's kind of in between two guys. It was deep right center, but the right fielder came over and made an outstanding grab and retires East, who sent that one for a ride, but it's not able to advance the runner. So with two outs, Oak Ridge has a batter coming in with a runner on first, and that is Brooks Poteet. Mike, you like that song?
No. I couldn't hardly hear for one thing. I wanted to comment that right fielder for them made a long run to catch that ball. An outstanding catch for the right fielder for Nolensville.
And, you know, he's quite a bit of, he's the furthest player from us, but it's pretty easy to tell even from this distance. He is a big kid. He's got a long strider out there at right field. As this ball is hung high, it's going to get caught by the wind. Center fielder makes the play on it and makes the grab. So clean inning for the most part for Nolensville, as they only allow one runner on and don't allow him to advance. So after two, as we head to the top of the third, it's 2-1. We'll be back in 60 seconds to Bobby Hopkins Park. Welcome back to Lobby Hopkins Park. Alex Myers alongside me is Mike Sheehan, as we want to thank Lisa Bowers for commenting on YouTube. It looks like Ricky Jones is watching us from Goodlettsville, Tennessee. He's the class of 1999. We welcome one and welcome all to our broadcast. We want to remind you, the broadcast would not be possible whether it's football season, basketball season, or now baseball season, as first pitch is in there for strike one. It wouldn't be possible for us to get on the air without help from our wonderful, wonderful sponsors. And we'll tell you who those sponsors for this game are after this. Swung on and missed as that one was low and in the dirt. Got him with a little eye candy there, and it's quickly 0-2 for the first batter here in the top of the third. Fox Insurance Group, Sexton Automotive Group of Oak Ridge, Laura Lynn Green, State Farm Insurance, East Tennessee Spine and Sport, and Josh Hemphill, State Farm Insurance. As that one's a ball, it's 1-2. We want to thank those sponsors and all of our sponsors. And Mike, people, I'm not sure people understand if how much it helps us when people shop locally and shop these local businesses and let them know they heard about them on Prep Radio.
Absolutely, and we couldn't be on the air without it. And I get to watch a lot of games because I can't always get here. And I really appreciate these sponsors for streaming these ball games for Oak Ridge High School.
Can't quite catch the corner on that one. It was a little bit inside, and after it was close, but I think it's probably the right call. As 2 balls in a row, and now it's 3-2. I guess it's 3 balls in a row. It was 0-2. No problem, says Oak Ridge pitcher Jackson Geary, as he just says, well, I'll finish this business I started, and strikes him out, gets him swinging. And quickly, there's the first out of the top of the third. So center fielder number 9, Ryan Newell, will come back to the plate for his second appearance this game, as we've now batted through on both ends. Here's the first pitch, catches him swinging. That ball just slid out of the way there as he reached for it and could not quite grab it as it kept floating outside as it got closer to home plate. Here's Geary's second pitch. High, floated a little bit, did not quite catch the top inside corner. And it's 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. As here's a slow roller, takes an odd hop, and it couldn't field it cleanly.
Newell singles.
As Whit Reniger kind of points to his chest and as if to say, my bad, but Mike, that was a weird for a slow roller. It kind of hopped and took a little bit of a short hop. It looked like a routine play, but it just didn't quite bounce like he thought it was going to.
It was rolling a lot slower than I thought it would, and he had to really come in on the ball, and then he didn't get a good grip on it, so Ryan gets a single.
And there's just a poked bunt towards the third base line, and he poked it a little bit too far left, and that rolls harmlessly into foul territory. Runner will go back to first as he was taken off towards second. It's Nolensville within a run now. Wildcats lead at 2-1. It was 2-0 in the first inning. Nolensville stole one back in the second, and as we head to the top of the third with Nolensville, the away team, batting first, they are trying to erase that 1-run deficit. Geary throws to first to no avail, and he'll reset things on the mound. As that one's a rope down the right line, on the first base line, I should say, but it too far right, and that's foul, and it's quickly 0-2 for the batter. Geary's pitch floats a little bit. Webb. Oh, man, he was going to have a shot at a double play. It went right towards the first base, and Webb caught it on the hop already had his foot touching the base and was turning and about to rip one to second to try to get him doubled up. And we hear foul. That was close.
It was fouled by about 6 inches. Joe made a good stop on the ball.
It's a familiar umpire out there at second base as this one's lined into left field. Runner from first will be held at second, and it's a single for the batter. So he comes out of an 0-2 hole. A couple batters in a row now to do that on Geary, as Nolensville's number 16, Evan McElvey, will come to the batter's box and step in, the right-handed hitter, with only one out, but runners on first and second. Oak Ridge would love to see a quick grounder towards that second base to try to get an easy double play and end this inning. It's a slow hopper. No double play chance, but they do get one at first. Runners advance to second and third, but a nice play from Noah Wood to charge that ball. It took a high hop. He did not wait on it. He aggressively charged the ball, snatched it from the air, and threw it over to first where Webb was standing for the out. But runners advance. So a lot of noise this inning, but it could all be for naught for Nolensville if the Wildcats can retire this batter. Geary eyes the batter, throws one, misses a little bit low and a little bit outside for ball one. The wind has really picked up behind us now, Mike, as there's strike two. I'm guessing these gusts are probably 25 miles an hour. It's nice to see Eli Peters, Charlie Taubenheim, who just committed to Maryville College to play basketball, Tim Walters, Malik Howard, football players in the building as well. As I see Adam Washington, a couple former Wildcat baseball players in the house tonight. As the pitch way outside. Runner at third is ready to go if a ball is able to get past free. 2 balls, 1 strike, 2 outs. With a runner on second and third for Nolensville, they trail it 2-1, or trying to tie it up. Here's the pitch. Does he catch the corner? No, he did not. They rule it a ball. That was close, Mike. That is a close play. Now, if you walk him, it's not the end of the world because no runners would score. You don't want to give him a meatball right here with a 3-1 count and 2 runners in scoring position. And there it was. He threw that one, a very hittable ball, and it's roped to left field. Runners at second and third cross the plate, and the batter is halted at first.
Barney drives in Newell and Barney.
So Newell and Barney score for Nolensville, and they don't just tie the game, they've taken the lead. It's 3-2 now. Here in the top of the third.
The designated hitter, number 12, Griffin Henderson.
So fireworks here in the top of the third for Nolensville. Score 1 run in the second, and now they've got 2 in the third, and they may not be done yet. Runner on first and a strong hitter at the plate. Ball misses low. Trying to see, as it looks like Oak Ridge has got a little bit of action. Some tossing around, going around in that bullpen over there. You'd love to see Geary be able to regain that command a little bit and give us another inning. Pitch high, misses, and it's quickly 2 balls, no strikes. Again, 2 outs, runner at first for Nolensville. Ball is hit high in the air. Should be a pretty routine play for the right fielder. And it's Brooks Poteet who makes the pop fly catch in right center field. And we'll go to the bottom of the third. Wildcats, for the first time all day, they're trailing. It's 3-2 here from Bobby Hopkins Park. I want to thank Dory Creech for commenting. She's watching from Miramar Beach. Okay, Mike, I'll admit, the weather's hard to beat, but it's hard to beat beach weather. She's watching from Miramar Beach. Mike Friels, appreciate you and the kind words. Mike, a staple here in this community. Done so much for so many over the years. As Mikey Teasley steps up to bat here in the bottom of the third, Oak Ridge trailing Nolensville 3-2. Again, in the bottom of the third is the first pitch. Mitch is a little low. 1 ball, no strikes. Second pitch right down the middle. That's an easy called strike for the man behind the plate. Curveball misses low. 2 balls, 1 strike for Teasley as he leads things off here in the bottom of the third. High ball. Going to go into shallow center. Pretty much straight to the center fielder. It moves on him the last second, but Teasley will have to head back to the dugout as he makes the play in center field. So quickly, 1 out as Teasley sends that one for a ride, but can't get it to drop. Here comes Parker Freed. Up to bat, a right-handed hitter. Catcher for the Wildcats. And he rips that one, but it's going to be all foul. Goes back behind the clubhouse. They're going to say Free tipped that one, and it's going to be a strike. Pitch is low. Free has to kind of juke out of the way of that one as he hops out of the way. That was headed towards his feet. So 2 balls, 2 strikes for Free with 1 out in the inning. No, 1 ball, 2 strikes, excuse me. As he sends that one up the middle. Good hop, and it just misses the outstretched glove of the shortstop. So Free will reach first base safely.
Singles.
And Nolensville stuck on 1 out here as Free reaches first. And Joe Webb comes up to bat.
Number 24.
So Free will go back and put his catcher gear on. Andy Hudson, the speedy runner for the Wildcats, a veteran runner, will come in there, use his dangerous wheels as a pinch runner. Joe Webb, again, the Vanderbilt commitment, talented arm as a pitcher, good defensive first baseman as well. And Mike, another guy who, as talented as he is with his arm, is an elite hitter. And that one tricked him a little bit, as it looked like one to hit, and at the last minute it was a breaking ball, and it broke really late, and I think he second thought himself for a minute.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And it wasn't a real fast ball either. It came in kind of slow, and he got behind it and fouled it off.
Good pitch. Tip your cap on that one. As pitcher's going to throw back to first, and he's done that quite a bit today. Concerned with the speed on the base paths for Oak Ridge, and I don't blame him.
Nope.
As he's trying to protect this 3-2 lead here in the bottom of the third inning. One out. Webb sends this one deep. Center fielder gets on his horse, runs backwards towards the fence, and he catches it. And Andy Hudson will have to trot back to first. So nobody hurt for Nolensville, as Webb got a good lick on that one, but not quite enough to get it over the fence, as this is a very, very deep field for the high school level. 357 to straightaway center where that one was hit, but it's 368 to left center and to right center. So a rare situation in this ballpark, Mike, where center field is not the deepest part of the field. A short porch on the right side at 328, 348 down the left field line. First pitch swung on from Oak Ridge. It's going back to the pitcher. 3 or 4 guys running over there to it, and they make the catch. And that's a third out. So a little noise that inning from Oak Ridge, but Nolensville stops them from getting any across the plate, and they take a 3-2 lead into the top of the fourth inning. We'll be back to Bobby Hopkins Park after this. We want to thank our sponsors, Fox Insurance Group, Sexton Automotive Group of Oak Ridge, Laura Lynn Green State Farm Insurance, and East Tennessee Spine and Sport. Left fielder batting first for Nolensville to start the top of the fourth. As, let's see, if Geary is the man on the mound, he is. So Oak Ridge sticks with their starter to start things off. The southpaw wearing number 22. He's had a pretty good game, but did struggle a little bit last inning. They were making contact, so as we near the bottom half of this order for Nolensville, I think Oak Ridge wants to see if they can get another inning out of Mr. Geary. Squeeze a little more juice out of that. First pitch strike. Second pitch catches him swinging. So a good start for Geary as he regains control a little bit here early in the fourth. And that one's down the middle, swung on. I said it was down the middle. You're right. It was actually on the outside portion of the plate, and he had to reach for it, and he could not reach far enough. Beautiful pitch that time from Geary.
Yeah, that was just a good pitch. Really drew him in there. He wanted it really bad. He swung, and he missed it by about, 8 inches or longer. Good strikeout.
First pitch catches the inside corner. Batter thought it was inside. It was close, but he gets a nod from the umpire on that one. It's a strike. Mike Kelly walking down beneath us today. He's always a familiar face at Oak Ridge High School athletic games and in the community, as the second pitch of the at-bat misses for ball one. Nice breaking ball there, hangs a little bit. It's fielded by the shortstop, thrown to Webb for first, and that's the second out of the inning. Nice play by Noah Wood. Mr. Consistency over there at shortstop.
Batting now for the
Trying to
Knights,
complete the
third
clean
baseman, number
inning
3,
is
Tanner
Jackson Geary. Tanner Jackson comes to the plate for Nolensville. This one's ripped right back up. Looks like deja vu all over again from the last hit. Right back up to the shortstop and right over to the first baseman, Joe Webb, and that's 3 up, 3 down.
The bottom of the 4th inning. Carson
As
Fagan,
Geary regains his
Isaiah
control
Wilson,
and his
and
command,
Noah
and
Wood.
we head to the bottom of the 4th. Nolensville leads 3-2. Welcome back to Bobby Hopkins Park. Alex Myers, Mike Sheehan, along with Preston Fetters and Nick Suttles. David Clear, our executive producer today. We appreciate all the work he's done throughout all the years and this season already. Preston, you've not done a ton of baseball until this year, but what are your thoughts on what you've seen from Oak Ridge here through the first few games and here today?
Honestly, they're doing pretty good this season. I feel like they're probably going to go to state. Like, seeing Joe Webb, Mikey, I feel like we're pretty good this year.
As to the plate for the Wildcats comes Carson Fagan. 7-hole hitter for the Wildcats, gets his second look at the pitcher for Nolensville. Here's the first pitch. Outside and high, but he swings it. Swings at it, and it was fouled off the back net for strike one. Ricky Jones on YouTube comments that the wind's going to be a big factor today, and I thought he was right as there's strike two. That one seemed like it was about a 40-mile-an-hour pitch, Mike. That didn't look like I could have run and beat that thing across the plate. But you know, Ricky Jones mentioned the wind, and I thought it would be a factor. So far, it really has not been. The wind has blown, but it's not. You've seen some outfielders kind of have to shift last minute, and it's been a little tricky, but no mistakes because of the wind, and no ball has gone out of the park that would not have otherwise.
Yeah, they've had to make some adjustments in the outfield for sure, and I was hoping with some of these hard-hit balls by Oak Ridge that they would go out, but so far, no home runs in this game as the Wildcats trail 2-3.
Again, in the bottom of the fourth, there's a shot to left field, and the diving attempt at it. No, they say safe. It bounced. What a play by the left fielder. 9 times out of 10, Mike, if you dive for a ball that's coming in hot like that and you don't catch it, 9 times out of 10, that thing goes behind you and you're looking at a double or a triple. He didn't catch it. It hit the ground, but he trapped it and holds the runner Fagan at first. That's a great, great athletic play from the left fielder.
Very much was an athletic play. I thought he had it on a fly. But the angle we were at, it looked like he had it. But I thought maybe it might have hit the ground. Of course, the umpire was out there around second base, and he saw that it did hit the ground. So a great hit by Carson Fagan for single to start off here the bottom of the 4th.
Again, Wildcats, as Mike mentioned a moment ago, Oak Ridge trails 3-2 here in the bottom of the 4th. But with a runner on first and no outs, Oak Ridge looking to make some noise. Jonah Wolf into the game now, as he's going to have a nice bunt. He's going to get tagged out on the first base line, but he moves Fagan to second. So a nice play. Jonah Wolf comes in, and the first pitch he sees, he lays a beautiful bunt down and does his job. He advances the runner to second. It's hard to do, Mike, when you're inserted into a game and you're not really warm to come in there and execute like that, but that's exactly what Wolf did. So to the plate now will come a 9-hole hitter, Noah Wood. So Wood has a man in scoring position with only 1 out. It's Fagan, the long lead off second, and the pitcher didn't like it. So he's going to kind of fake like he's going to throw, step off, and force him back.
Nope.
He's going to get another big lead, though, here, as Noah Wood, with a well-placed single, could score a run and tie this thing up. Outwin catches the inside corner question mark. I didn't think so, but the umpire did, and it's 0-1. Outwin's really inside, and now it's 1 ball, 1 strike with 1 out. Wildcats down 1, trying to tie this thing up with a runner on second. And throw back to second. Not close.
Nope.
After a brief period of waiting, here comes the pitch. Foul tipped, and it's 1-2 for Noah Wood. Say enough of that ball, as I guess it's got a scuff or something. They toss that back over to the Nolensville dugout, and they'll throw this pitch with a new ball. Some action in the Nolensville bullpen down the right field line, as they've got a reliever warming up. As this one's a little high and outside, but it's swung on and kept alive. Is the at-bat by Noah Wood as he fouls that one away. 1 ball, 2 strikes for Noah. 1 out here and a runner on second. Wildcats trail 3-2. They were up 2-0. It's 3 straight runs for Nolensville. This one swung on, hit to right field. Will it get down? It will not. Runner will hold at second until the catch is made. He tags and runs to third. Standing up, no slide needed as the throw never came. So Wood, you'd like to see him stay alive there. However, he does his job. He gets an out, but he advances the runner. So the tying run is at third now with 2 outs as Warren East, the leadoff hitter, back up for the Wildcats. This will be, and this is a key thing to note, his 3rd time seeing this pitcher. He took the last at-bat for a good ride to deep center. He didn't quite get enough of it. 3rd time at a pitcher, that's a scary thing, as Wood takes a long look at that one. The umpire says that swooping curveball caught enough of the plate to count for a strike. It's 0-1. Pitch down the middle. It's low, tapped by East. He hustles to first but cannot outrun the throw, and so Nolensville escapes the bottom of the fourth with no damage. It's 3-2 the score. Nolensville leads as we head to the top of the fourth. They'll be up to bat.
Leading off for Nolensville here in the top of the fifth, William Batmore. He tries a bunt, goes foul.
Thank you, Mike. You know, when you're well hydrated, the one complaint you could have with this park, and there's not many you could have, it's hard to get to the restroom and back in 60 seconds. It's a little bit of a hike, but we made it, so I appreciate you picking us up. And quickly, it's 0-2 as Geary's back out there for another inning. You know, he was a little shaky in the second and third, but he looked really good, like he found his command and got it back there in the fourth. That one misses low. It's 1 ball, 2 strikes for Geary. And we talked about the wind earlier, and as it kicks up again, it's kind of an on and off again wind, but I have a hard time believing that at some point during this game it's not going to become a factor.
I think so too, because they're saying it's going to gust up to 34, 35 miles an hour, and it's definitely getting brisker as time goes by. And there's some angry-looking clouds in the sky. That's what worries me a whole lot more than the wind. As Bateman gets a single out to left field.
Satinoff singles.
And just like that, the leadoff hitter
Batting now for the Knights, the center fielder, number 9,
has reached base.
Ryan Newell.
Speaking of pretty parks, David Clary is watching from Truist Park down in Atlanta. I hope to get down there soon for a ball game this season. And that ball took a bad hop and hit Parker Free in an area I don't think he wanted to be hit in, so it looks like he's going to shake that one off.
The referee's stalling for time, the umpire is.
Yeah, it doesn't matter how much gear you got. Sometimes you just take a hit as a catcher. It's kind of a thankless position and can kind of wear on you throughout a season, but Parker is one of the best in the entire state, Mike. There's no question about that, and you know, there's an old saying that my parents told me, if you're going to be dumb, you got to be tough. Well, in this case, if you're going to play catcher, you got to be tough.
You sure do. That's definitely one of the most physical positions on a baseball team.
Parker Parker's back up and good to go. And the bunt attempt is popped back up to the pitcher. He looks to second, can't make the play. Going to throw it to the right side, and they're going to say he was safe at first. As about a perfect bunt there. It looked like it was short enough to where Parker was going to be able to get out to it, but it rolled fast enough to where the pitcher had to get it. And as a left-hander, when he picked it up, he had to turn 180 degrees to get the throw off, and I think that's the difference. If that's a right-handed pitcher, probably makes that play, and that's no slight on Jackson Geary, but it's just, you know, from an anatomical standpoint, as a left-handed pitcher, having to kind of turn your body in a split-second play, it just a lucky bounce and a great piece of hitting from Nolensville. So with no outs, there's a runner on first and second. Runner from second takes a huge lead, but as the batter swings and misses, he thinks better of it and goes back to the base. 1 ball, 1 strike with no outs here in the top of the 5th. Nolensville leading by a run, 3-2. Swung on and miss again for strike 2, and it's 1-2. How quickly things can shift mentally and from a momentum standpoint, Mike. You got a 1-run lead and all the momentum in the world right now, but if he strikes out here, you're one, you know, with the double play, you're 1 pitch away from ending this inning with no further damage. So huge sequence upcoming here.
I'm hoping that's exactly what transpires right here too.
And he'll stay alive as he fouls that one off to the east side of the first base bag. Mike, I see some hot dogs, some hamburgers. We can smell those things going. What's your favorite ballpark food?
Cracker Jacks.
That's a good one. As there's a ball popped up into shallow left field. Wind not a factor on that one as it's totally died down. That ball is caught by Carson Fagan. The batter is retired. Nolensville still in business here. Runners on first and second, but because that ball's caught, there's 1 out, and now the double play is in effect. Coach Free has seen enough, and he is going to clap it up and go out to visit Mr. Geary and say, good game. So he gets a pat on the back and an ovation from the Oak Ridge faithful, a well-deserved ovation as he had a great game. Really nice appearance today against one of the more talented teams Oak Ridge will face all year, no matter how far they make it. This is an elite team ranked number 3 in the state right now. Oak Ridge ranked number 6. So these are two teams that could certainly potentially see each other again down in the mid-state. So the scenario we talked about, where they're in threatening position looking to add on the lead, if Oak Ridge can get a ground ball or somehow get a double play ball here, they could end the inning still just trailing 3-2. We'll be back in 30 seconds, and we'll let you know it's Wolf on the mound. Welcome back to Bobby Hopkins Park here as we've had a pitching change. Jonah Wolf now into the ball game for the Wildcats.
For Nolensville, he kept the number 16, Evan McElvey.
Evan McElvey up to the plate for Nolensville. So Wolf comes in quite the position here. A one-run deficit with hopes of a double play ball. Trying to get out of this inning, keeping this a one-score ball game. Nolensville ahead 3-2. Oak Ridge got out to a 2-0 lead in the first inning. Through the second and third, Nolensville captured their lead. First time for all game, excuse me. 3-2 in the last couple innings. There's been some fireworks on the bases, but no runs for either team. So it's 3-2 in the top of the fifth. 2 balls, no strikes for Wolf as he's in replacement of the starting pitcher, Jackson Geary. The third pitch of the day from Wolf finds its way into the strike zone. It slivers in there, and it's 2-1 with 1 out. Runners on first and second again for Nolensville as McElvey is in the box. Slow pitch with some motion, but not enough to get into the strike zone, says Mr. Umpire. And the count is now 3-1. Don't want to load the bases, certainly. Here's a pitch low and in the dirt, and the batter will take his base. So Jonah Wolf now has bases loaded, although only one of those runners is his doing. So a tough position
Now for the Knights, the shortstop
for the Wildcat
#1,
pitcher to face, but
Tyson
there's still a
Arnold.
pathway out of this. Again, a ground ball, not to beat a dead horse, but a ground ball hit quickly towards the middle of the infield could end this inning in a heartbeat. And that's certainly the hope from Wildcat fans in attendance. A really, really good crowd as I look to my left and to my right. Nolensville's got a pretty good contingency as well. First pitch is tipped away, fouled, and that'll be strike 1.
Caleb Gilbert in as a courtesy runner for Nolensville.
The wind is picked up once again, blowing from the back of home plate towards center field. You don't want to get a ball with any lift on it here. Good pitch there, in for strike 2. It's 0-2, the count with 1 out. And this crowd starting to sit up as I look around, kind of lean forward in their seats, looking to explode with applause if he can get strike 3 here. Here's the pitch from Wolf. In there, and it's fouled back behind home plate. No harm there. The batter stays alive. Wolf eyes Parker free for the signal. Here's the pitch. In there for strike 3. Jonah Wolf gets an incredibly important second out. As bases are loaded here.
Batting now for Nolensville, the designated hitter.
So here comes
12,
the DH.
Griffin
Number 12,
Hendrickson.
Griffin Hendrickson. Talented player playing a little bit of right field, I think, earlier in the ball game. He's the DH now, though. As Wolf trying to get him out. There's strike 1. And Mike, while you stepped away for a moment, he had a pitching change. Wolf came in with the runners on first and second and only 1 out. He walked his first batter. And since then has thrown 5 straight strikes. He's got actually 6 straight strikes because one of them was fouled off, though. And it's now an 0-2 count. Mike, with the strike here, this place would erupt. He'd have a chance to get out of this inning unscathed. Here's the pitch, swung on, fouled. It was a grounder. Oak Ridge, an elite high school fielding team at the infield level. You'd like to think even something put in play here could be an out. 0-2 the count, 2 outs, bases loaded. Hard thrown pitch there, just misses the outside corner, low and away. And Jonah Wolf, no reason to force anything there. It was 0-2. Now it's a 1-ball, 2-strike count here with 2 outs in the top of the 5th. Again, Nolensville at the plate leading 3-2. batter needed to reset. Calls for time. Jonah Wolf, ever steady, the presence on the mound, never stepped off. He's ready to go. Here's a pitch, swung on and missed. And Wolf retires the side with no damage done. 3-2 the score. Nolensville with a 1-run lead, but Oak Ridge is up to bat as we head to the bottom of the 5th. What an exciting top half of the 5th, Mike Sheehan, that we just witnessed. And that's the thing about baseball. Nothing got added to the scoreboard. The score didn't change, but boy, it feels like the momentum has shifted in this ball game. Mikey Teasley on deck. As stepping to the plate for the Wildcats is Brooks Poteet, heart of the lineup, due up the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th hitter up to bat for the Wildcats. Poteet lines one foul to the right side, and it's quickly 0-2. Wildcats with a lot of pop at this part of the order coming up. So you don't necessarily have to load the bases up with runners, but you'd certainly like to have a little bit of ammo on the base paths for Mikey when he steps in. Here's a shallow right field fly ball. It could be no man's land. It drops too far back for the third baseman, too shallow for the left fielder. While there's confusion going for the ball, Poteet hustles and wisely goes all the way to second. So he asks for ammunition on the base paths. Mikey gets it. A runner on second in scoring position. Wildcats trailing 3-2 in the bottom of the 5th. But the tying run is on second. The winning run, which would at least the leading run, I should say, is at the plate in right-hander Mikey Teasley. Of course, we know what Teasley brings to the mound. Today he's playing third base as he does on off days. And all of a sudden, this park is starting to buzz a little bit with energy.
I can tell you why. Mikey Teasley is one of the best hitters in the state, not just in Oak Ridge.
Reigning Mr. Baseball at the plate, watches a curveball that does not drop back down in the zone. Good eye, Mikey. As Coach Free barking out signals to the runner on second. No outs here, 1 ball, no strikes for Mikey. Here's a ball that gets a little motion, and it came back in. It was a good pitch because it was one you want to lay off of, but it did catch the corner of the zone. And it's 1-1. Teasley quickly sets his bat, and he's ready to go. Pitcher delaying a little bit. Still their starting pitcher. As he's going to fire this one away and gets one, blows one by Mikey, which does not happen very often, but good pitch there. He's thrown a lot of off-speed stuff, so to come back with the heater right there is really smart play.
Yeah, it was. He got it right. Really good fastball, and Mikey just couldn't catch up with it.
1 ball, 2 strikes for Teasley. Runner on second. He's trying to move him over. Teasley swings at that one, a high popper in the infield. It gets away from the shortstop. Shortstop throws back to third. As the runner had rounded, he gets back safely, and in the meantime, Mikey Teasley gets safe to first. It should have been a fairly routine play, but it took a weird hop right there at the edge of where the grass meets the dirt, and I think that's what caused the shortstop, who's usually pretty sure-handed, he caused him to misjudge that, and Oak Ridge got a break.
He gloved it and knocked it away a few feet and gave Pote a chance to get to third base. So we got runners on first and third here in the bottom of the fifth.
No outs as Parker Free, the Kennesaw State commit, steps up to the plate. Right-handed hitter, plays catcher. He pipes one into right field. It's going to drop. Runner from third scores. Mikey's held at second. Parker Free to first.
Free drives in Brooks Poteet.
It's 3-3. The Wildcats get their first run plated since the first inning. They got up 2-0, and it was all Nolensville until the momentum shifted in the top of the fifth. Wolf came in, and Jonah Wolf shut Nolensville down. And speaking of momentum, we're going to have a pitching change, I believe. We're going to take a quick break, catch our breath, as the Wildcats have tied the ball game with runners on first and second. And guess what? The best news, no outs. Joe Webb coming up to bat. And I think it's a big reason, Mike, why they wanted to change. They did not want to give Joe Webb a third look at this starting pitcher. He comes off to a round of applause, well-deserved. One of the most dangerous lineups in the state is for Oak Ridge, and he held him to 3 runs through 4 innings. Good performance by him. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll resume action here from Bobby Hopkins Park. It's a new ball game, tied 3-3 in the bottom of the fifth. The Beatles playing over the PA speakers, Help Me. You mentioned you like the song choice. What's your favorite Beatles song, Mike?
Oh, gosh, there's so many, I don't know. Oh, goodness, you put me on the spot here. I guess Jude.
It's a solid one. That's a solid one. So to set the stage, if you're just now joining us, I think we got some folks that have probably seen the score and gone, hey, let me tune into that for a second. It was 2-0 Wildcats after 1. Between the second and third innings, Nolensville responded quickly, and they went up 3-2. Through the fourth inning, there was no scoring from either team, and in the fifth inning, Oak Ridge made a pitching change with only 1 out and a runner on first and second. Trailing 3-2, Jonah Wolf came in, walked the first batter, so with 1 out, had bases loaded. He struck out 2 batters in a row and ended the inning, and you could feel the momentum shift. It was a palpable shift of momentum here at Bobby Hopkins Park. So trailing 3-2, Oak Ridge came to the bottom of the fifth with the renewed energy, and they have tied this ball game up. Mikey Teasley and Andy Hudson into the ball game now, as he's a courtesy runner for Parker Free at first. So Hudson's the runner at first. Mikey Teasley, the runner at second for Vanderbilt commit Joe Webb, who steps into plate. The right-handed hitter's playing first base today. He'll be pitching probably later on next week. So it's 3-3 with no outs as he's got 2 runners on the base. New pitcher in for Nolensville threw one of his last warm-up pitches above the head of the catcher. So he may be a little nervous here. We'll see what he does with the pitch number 1. He's going to go back and look Mikey Teasley back onto the bag as he steps off the mound. Not a good sign. I always think pitchers, when you come into the game, I want your first pitch and focus being on the batter. Let's see what happens here. Webb, a dangerous hitter with power, had a home run in one of Oak Ridge's preseason games. He and Mikey Teasley both. Webb wiggles his bat, awaits the pitch. Shows bunt, and he pops it up behind the plate. That's foul, and it's a 0-1 count. Runs are at a premium, so even though he's got power, Coach Free may be electing to try to just advance the runners and play small ball and play the percentages, because I think Coach Free wants to avoid the double play here with no outs, just get runners on first and second. We'll see if they elect to try to play small ball with Joe again here or if they let him swing away. Here's the 0-1 pitch. High. Won the count, no outs. Runners on first and second. It's Hudson. Pinch running for Parker Free at first, and Mikey Teasley, who got on base earlier, he's the runner at second. Webb shows bunt early. He's going to try to pop one down. He pulls it away, and it's in there for a strike. Teasley steals third, and he's in there. It was close, but he's safe.
Wow.
So the pitch was called a strike. Meanwhile, Teasley and Hudson advanced to third and second respectively as a double steal was on. So now, even though it's a pitcher's count at 1 and 2 with no outs, a double play not in play, you can say, Mr. Webb, swing away.
Yeah, exactly.
And for those watching at home wondering, the wind has picked up. It's a wind blowing in from behind home plate towards the outfield, towards right center. This is a high fly ball that could come into play. Here's the pitch. High.
Head high.
This pitcher, when he has missed, even in his warm-up pitches, he was missing high. You don't want to leave one high and in the zone, though. Not when Joe Webb's at the plate. 2-2 the count. No outs and a runner on second and third for the Wildcats in this tie ball game. We're knotted up at 3 apiece here in the bottom of the 5th. Joe wants to think about this when he calls time, and he is granted time. Something to keep in mind here, Nolensville may not have their normal array of pitchers because they played an 8-inning game last night at Farragut, so they've got some mileage on that bullpen.
And they lost that game, by the way, 4-3.
As, thank you, Mike, Oak Ridge bench is given a warning and told to kind of pipe down a little bit by the home plate umpire. And now we'll get back to what matters, which is what happens between the lines. 2 balls, 2 strikes, no outs, 2 runners on for Joe Webb. Here's the pitch. Lined left, and Coach Free makes a play on the ball as it's hit left of the third base line. That's a foul. Count remains 2-2. Crowd applauds. Listen to this crowd at Bobby Hopkins. Joe Webb at the plate. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Just a little low, Mike. That scared me. I'm not going to lie, but a good eye from Joe as that one missed a little bit low.
You know, it wouldn't surprise me if they didn't intentionally walk Joe Webb, because he's one of the better hitters in the state in his own right.
Yeah, I think it's a good point. Now that it's a full count, I think they'll probably try to get him, but, you know, hey, at a 3-2 count, we'll see what they try to do here. I think they'll try to go for him. Here's Joe Webb. Crowd applauding from the Oak Ridge faithful. Here's the pitch. Down the middle, swung on and missed. And an off-speed pitch catches Joe Webb. And I can see he's frustrated by his body language, but hey, sometimes good pitching beats good hitting, and a good piece of pitching there. It was a battle. Full count, a couple of foul balls. And Joe Webb walks away empty-handed, and the Wildcats still have runners on first and second, just 1 out. as the 6-hole hitter, Whit Reniger, comes in. He's got a hit already today. Good fielder as well. Let's see if he can do one. The southpaw, standing on the right side of the plate. Here's the pitch. Tipped away. That's a foul, and will be strike one. Talk about momentum shifts. All the momentum is with Oak Ridge right now. However, if Oak Ridge, after the pitching change, goes 0 for 2 and quickly gets 2 outs, you have to think the momentum would shift right back toward Nolensville. So you want to try to put a ball in play here and at least get one run across to keep things going your way. 3-3 the score, tie game here in the bottom of the 5th from Oak Ridge. Ball popped up. Watch out, Mike. That's behind us and behind the press box. And quickly into a pitcher's count. No balls, 2 strikes, as 2 foul balls have been hit off.
You almost hit the grill master.
Well, we can't have that, as Whit Reniger's trying to stay alive here. Pitcher, intentional, taking his time here. Throws one, and it's hit. Infield fly rule should be in effect, as this one's going to be caught by the shortstop. Now the catcher and pitcher having words, and you can start to feel the Oak Ridge fans have gotten quiet. Nolensville has started to make some noise, and the momentum's shifting back as the pendulum of momentum is swinging back towards the boys in gray and blue. And now, the heart of the lineup has been avoided, or they've been passed through, I should say, for Nolensville, as now you're into the 8th spot, the designated hitter, as they've swapped men. As we've got a new player for Oak Ridge. It's Carson Fagan. As he watches that one go in the dirt, low for ball 1. Again, if you get in trouble here, if you're Nolensville, walking would not be the worst thing in the world. You'd rather do that than deliver a meatball down the middle that could score 2 runs. So we'll see if that comes into play as the pitcher, the relief pitcher into the game now, Jonah Wolf, is in the on-deck circle. He would be the 9-hole hitter, as I believe he got on base his first attempt last inning. Here's the pitch. Low and outside, ball 2. I think you're still attacking him normally, Mike, but if you get to 0 and 3, I kind of lean that they might try to put this guy on base versus throwing him a ball he knows is going to be down the middle.
Exactly right, because I don't, a walk right here is not going to really hurt them that bad.
Here's the 2-0 pitch. 2 outs, runners on second and third in this tie ball game in the bottom of the 5th. There's the ball down the middle, strike. You heard the pop on that one. I think he had some frustration taken out on that pitch, Mike.
Absolutely did. It's a Lifestar helicopter flying over here at Bobby Hopkins Field.
Wind picking up once again. As we await the 2-1 pitch. Gets Fagan to swing, and we're all knotted up. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 2 runners on second and third for the Wildcats. They've tied this ball game up, but certainly would feel like a missed opportunity if they didn't get at least one more run across the plate and regain this lead here in the bottom of the 5th. For Nolensville, it's a win. If you escape this inning with this game remaining tied. He stays alive there. It was a ball that would have been kind of on the line of being a foul or a strike, so wisely he takes a chop at it, and a chop it was. He barely got a piece of it and fouls it off. But he takes a note from the BGs, Mike, and stays alive.
There you go. I like that song, too. CPR song.
Fagan Awaits the pitch. Big moment here. Watches it low. Full count for Carson Fagan as the applaud starts from the Wildcat faithful. Down the left field line in the stands, some noise starting to be made. Carson Fagan, have yourself a moment here. Just got to put one in play. Reach first, and your team will have the lead. The payoff pitch, 3-2 the count with 2 outs. He sticks his bat out there. It gets past the first defender. It gets past the second, and a run scores. Fagan gets to first. The play could not be made in time. It got past the third baseman. The shortstop chopped it down, but he couldn't. His body angle was not in position. He couldn't get his legs behind that throw, so he got the throw to first, but it was way late. And Mikey Teasley scores, giving the Wildcats a 4-3 lead. I think he's going to be okay, thankfully, but the shortstop, who made that great effort on the play, just kind of came up a little bit gimpy. Mike, you've heard in terms of hitting, people say just throw your bat at it, just chop at it. That's what he did. He didn't even hardly get that bat off his shoulder. It was just at the last moment, he just kind of dropped his bat straight down. It wasn't even really what I would call a swing. He literally looked like he had an axe and was just chopping straight at the ground. I think he was afraid he was going to take a strike, so he just threw the bat at it. And what a play it was, and it gets a run in for Oak Ridge.
Such a slow roller, the shortstop didn't really have time to throw him out. So he got a big, huge single and an RBI right there.
And now you got yourself a little cushion for the relief pitcher, Jonah Wolf, who's now up to bat. So now he's got a runner in scoring position, runners at the corners with 2 outs, but no pressure because his team already has a 1-run lead. So anything he does here is icing on the cake in the bottom of the 5th. Watches that one go right down Main Street for strike number 1. 1 ball, 1 strike with 2 outs, and again, runners on the corners. Wildcats leading 4-3 in the bottom of the 5th. Wolf steps away for a second, gets a signal from Coach Free down the third baseline, and now he's ready to go and steps back into the batter's box. Here comes the pitch. Runner from first goes. Swung on and missed, and that's going to be an out. Nice arm strength by the catcher. Threw out Fagan on his still attempt to second, and that's how the 5th ends. So a lot of excitement. A couple of runs for the Wildcats plated, and they've got a 4-3 lead as we head to the top of the 6th inning. Welcome back to Bobby Hopkins Park. Alex Myers, Mike Sheehan, Preston Fetters, and Nick L. Ray Suttles with us on tonight's broadcast. Fox Insurance Group, Sexton Automotive of Oak Ridge, Laurel Lynn, Green State Farm Insurance, and East Tennessee Spine and Sport are our sponsors who have made this broadcast possible. We certainly appreciate those fine folks in our community. So Wolf's back on the bump here in the top of the 6th. And this time, unlike last inning, he's got a little bit of a cushion, a one-run lead for the Wildcats. It's 4-3. Again, as we start things off in the top of the 6th. Here's the first pitch, a little low for ball 1. Coach McKeithen barking out some encouraging words to the pitcher. Basically saying that's not a bad spot, just make a little bit of an adjustment, and he does just that on the second pitch. It's a little bit higher than that first pitch, and they're going to award him a strike because of it. Here's the third pitch. Quickly working now is Wolf, and he gets a curveball to just barely come back in the zone. It's 1 ball, 2 strikes. Tried to get that one past the batter, but he caught up to it briefly, just enough to get a bat on it, and that's fouled away, and he stays alive. 1-2 the count remains. No outs here in the top of the 6th. Wildcats leading 4-3. Shakes the first pitch off, finds one he likes. It's down the middle again, swung on and foul tipped again. It's a batter for Nolensville. Keeping himself in play here. You know, with the shortened game in the high school, you're not playing 9 innings, you're playing 7. And all of a sudden, you start to feel pressure much earlier in baseball games. As there's a pressure-loaded ball. As it one hops to the left fielder. What a hit that was by the leadoff man for Nolensville. But you start feeling pressure much earlier in games than you do at the major league level. You know, 4th, 5th inning, all of a sudden you start feeling some pressure. You get to the 6th inning and you're down a run, and all of a sudden you can see teams start to press a little bit. But they've got a good start to this top of the 6th as they've got a runner on and no outs. Mentioned Warren East earlier. What I failed to mention was that he is a Youngstown State commit. Several Wildcats looking to play in college off this starting lineup. As that's in there for ball 1. Bunt is shown, and it's going to be foul. So the runner will have to go all the way back to first, as he was already at second by the time that it was ruled a foul ball. One and one the count. Runner caught in a rundown. Webb fires to second. They're in there easily in time, and he's out. Great pickoff from Wolf, and Parker Free points to the dugout as if to say, appreciate the heads up.
Joe Webb to Noah Wood.
These guys practice so much and so hard, put so much time in off season. These guys are all playing travel ball and little nuances of the game when they feel like a guy's getting ready to go, being able to time that perfectly. So now, once again, no pressure for Wolf, who can operate from the stretch now with no runners on, and a 1-run lead. 1 out here in the top of the 6th. 1 ball, 2 strikes, as here's the next pitch. Roped into center field, and it's down. And the runner will be held at first. So a couple batters in a row now.
Cook singles.
Getting pretty good contact out to left center, Mike. It's something to watch here.
Batting now for the Knights, the third baseman, number 3.
As the third baseman steps
Tanner
into the plate,
Jackson.
it's Tanner Jackson. I think it's his 4th at bat of the ball game. Here in the 6th. Webb holding the runner at first as a bunt attempt is mishandled, and it's fouled off. 0-1 the count. Nolensville doesn't want to hit into a double play either, but they would love to get the tying run in scoring position. So we'll see if they go back to another bunt attempt here on pitch number 2 of the at-bat. Wolf checks the runner at first, Webb holding him on. He's going to throw back over there, and he's back to first safely. Excuse me, I was wrong. This is just his third plate appearance for the third baseman, Tanner Jackson. He's 0 of 2 on the day. We'd love to see that go to 0 and 3 if you're an Oak Ridge fan, as he chops this one down. It's going to be fielded cleanly by the second baseman. They'll get him out at first, but he does his job
To Joe
and advances the runner into scoring position. So the tying run is at second. Leading run steps into the batter's box
Number 2,
with 2 outs.
William Satinoff.
William Satinoff, right-handed hitter, takes a look down the third baseline, sees his coach, nods his head, and steps quickly into the plate. Oak Ridge 1 out, away from ending the top half of the 6th inning with a 1-run lead. Wolf calls for time, steps off momentarily, resets, wipes his face, and he's back ready to go. Here's the pitch. Grounded off a short bounce left of third base. That's a foul and strike 1. Great pitch in there, nestled in for a strike, and quickly it's a pitcher's count for Jonah Wolf. No balls, 2 strikes with 2 outs. No need to force anything here. Give him any eye candy at the plate. Make him reach for something. Runner at second with a substantial lead. Pitcher checks him. He's going to go home anyways. And he hits the batter. Maybe a little worried about that runner at second, Mike, and all of a sudden,
Satinoff takes his base.
Satinoff goes to first, and there's 2 runners on with 2 outs.
For the Knights, the center fielder.
Here's a
number
talented
9.
center fielder, number 9 for Nolensville, Ryan Newell. Small mistake there, Mike, but you don't want to compound that by letting this runner get on. Again, you're 1 pitch away from this inning ending and heading to the bottom of the 6th with a 1-run lead. First pitch of the at-bat is outside, ball 1. Both of these teams at the plate pretty patient today, Mike.
Yeah, they definitely are. They watch the ball very closely. This is a very good team we're playing, no doubt.
Well, you can tell both teams are well coached. There's just not a lot of mental errors, even with the wind in play. And there's a good piece of hitting. It's in there. It's going to score 1 runner. The second runner that was on first is now at third. He slides in there, and the ball game's tied. Four to 4 the score here in the top of the 6th. And a little bit of a celebration now in the Nolensville dugout, and I don't blame them. Good piece of hitting there, patient hitting in this half of the inning. Wolf gets instructions from Parker Free behind the plate. He steps back, pulls his helmet down, and we'll get back into the action. Runners at the corners, first and third for Nolensville. This inning's not over for them. 2 outs, but they're not trying to get out of this inning. They're trying to add to their total and take the lead. Again, Wildcats led this thing 2-0 after 1. Between the second and third innings, Nolensville scored 3 runs, took the lead where it stood until the bottom half of the 5th inning, where the Wildcats scored 2 and retook the lead 4-3. Nolensville on that last at-bat just tied it up at 4 apiece. And there's 2 strikes. Batter did not like that one. I think the umpire says he swung. I don't think he thought he did. He's not happy, but regardless, he's got to lock in and refocus because he's down 0-2. Wolf, he was in this position a batter ago, or 2 batters ago, and he hit him. That one's a little high and outside. Runner goes. Parker Free wisely does not throw it. They want to get caught in a situation where the third base runner comes home. So, in the wily veteran, Parker Free just lets him have second. And a smart piece of base running from Nolensville to take the base. 1-2 the count, 2 outs here in the top of the 6th. Here's the pitch, swung on and missed, and that's strike 3, and that's how the inning will end. Wildcats escape with minimal damage. They do tie it up, does Nolensville, and it's 4-4 as we head to the bottom of the 6th, with the Wildcats trying to retake the lead when we come back in 60 seconds. Welcome back to Bobby Hopkins Park. It's a tie ball game, 4-4 here, as we get things rocking here in the bottom of the 6th inning. The relief pitcher, Jonah Wolf, to the plate to lead things off here. Wolf facing the right-handed Nolensville pitcher, takes strike 1. He's a little upset with himself on that one for taking that pitch, but that would have been a tough pitch. High and away, really quick moving fastball. Wolf swings on that one. It's low and away. Just didn't quite catch up to that one, Mike.
No, it definitely was a good fastball right at knee high, and he swung at it, but he couldn't hit it.
I have to see what kind of a breaking ball this guy has, because after Wolf's trying to play catch-up, you think he might throw something off speed here. Nope, goes right back to it, but just missed off the plate. Looked an awful close to where that first one was called a strike.
It certainly was. I have to agree with you, but it's a little bit outside.
So 3 straight speed balls to start this at bat. Let's see if he throws an off-speed pitch. And he fouled that one off right back into the face mask of the umpire, it looks like, but thankfully he seems to be okay. This pitcher's fastball riding about 85 miles an hour based on the 2 radar guns that are in this facility today. As that breaking ball falls in there a little high, but he was adamant about that, was the umpire. So a good pitch, good sequence of pitching there for Nolensville.
The shortstop, number 1, Noah.
So here comes Noah Wood in the 9-hole. Warren East up to bat for the Wildcats on the on-deck, or in the on-deck circle. If Noah can just get on base, the top of the order, would be at his tail. There's a good pitch in there, just missed. Ball 1. It's a good miss, though. That one's in there a little higher that time. He gets it into the strike zone, and the count's even at 1-1. Here's the shot, roped into right field. Wood gets to first easily, standing up, and here comes Warren East. The junior
Wood, single.
Youngstown State commit
Stepping in now
steps
for
into the plate with a
Oak Ridge.
runner on first and only one out. His team tied with Nolensville 4-4 here in the bottom of the 6th. So, Mike, while Oak Ridge has another inning after this, you certainly get the feeling now's the time to strike. The top of the order up. You don't want to wait and count on scoring next inning. You want to do some damage this inning to try to end things and potentially have your team not even have to go up to bat.
We definitely need a good hitting inning here in the bottom of the 6th. Game tied up 4-4.
Multi-sport athlete Josiah McClure. He's a guy who got significant playing time as a freshman at cornerback for Coach Rang and the Wildcats. He is in there as a pinch runner. Incredibly fast athlete and a really good young baseball player as well. He's not just on this team for his speed, Mike. He is a talented baseball player with a bright future. First pitch to Warren East is off the plate and a ball as McClure takes a substantial lead off of first base. Pitcher checks him, looks again. He'll go home with it. Warren East watches that fastball that I thought was a little high. They call it in there for a strike. Strike zone pretty generous right now, but it's all right. I think the umpire's been pretty consistent all game, and personally, I don't care where your strike zone is, small, big, wide. I don't care as long as it's consistent, and I think they've been pretty consistent today. They check McClure back at first. Mike, the ball almost bounced short and got away from the first baseman. They got lucky.
Yeah, actually the ball went into the ground, and he put his glove on top of the ball to keep it from rolling away. Lucky that he didn't get away with that.
1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out with a runner on first. For Warren East, here's the pitch. High and outside, it's ball 2.
Nope.
For Oak Ridge, a look ahead. Got district games Monday and Wednesday, against McMinn County. So Oak Ridge saving some of their pitching probably if they can for those district games. As that off-speed pitch breaks into the strike zone. It was high, but they're going to say not high enough to be out of the zone. Again, this zone seems to have expanded just a little bit here, but, you know, hey, it is what it is. 2 balls, 2 strikes with a runner on first for Warren East. That ball bounces, and McClure is going to get to second with ease standing up. Catcher calls time. They're going to switch balls, and all of a sudden, things have shifted. Warren East, if he just puts a ball and it gets out of the infield at all, McClure will likely score. McClure, still a youngster, just a freshman out there at second. Coach Free giving him detailed instructions about what he should do if this ball's put in play. Always teaching his Coach Free. Warren East now with a runner in scoring position and 1 out. It's a full count, 3 balls, 2 strikes. Pitcher set. Here comes the payoff pitch. It's low, that's a ball. So Warren East will take his base to first, McClure at second, and the Wildcats have some traction. With 1 out, though, the double play could end the inning. So
Stepping in now for
if
the
you're
Wildcats,
Oak Ridge's
the
2-hole
right
hitter,
number
right
9,
fielder Brooks Poteet, you don't want to hit a ground ball. If you pop fly and can advance a runner, that's fine. If you strike out, you don't want to do that. But anything really is better than a double play because you want Mikey Teasley stepping up to the plate with a chance to knock a run in. You'd love to do it yourself. Poteet's certainly capable of doing that. A really good hitter in his own right. Again, runners at first and second. One out. Poteet, the left-handed hitter, steps into the box.
Poteet's had 2 singles already in this game.
He'd love to have a third.
Scored a run.
A third single right here from him could put this game away.
Yeah, it could.
First pitch was a little outside, ball 1. Here's the pitch. Low and swung on, and that's going to be popped up back to nearly to the parking lot. It's always fun at these games. You've never seen kids run as fast. They should time 40s out here. When a ball hits the ground off a foul ball, and these kids just scramble for them. As we get older, Mike, we love that other people will go and get those for us. Here's the pitch. Check swing, did he go? He did. I think that's the right call, Mike. You agree?
I definitely agree. He came out too far with his bat, and it was a strike, even though it was a ball if he hadn't swung.
1 ball, 2 strikes with 1 out here for Brooks Poteet. 2 for 2 on the day, trying to make it 3 for 3 with the runner on first and second. McClure, the runner in scoring position, takes a big lead as ball 2 comes in. Good take there for Brooks Poteet, and the count's even up at 2-2. I don't know what's cooking now, Mike, but it smells good.
They're killing me.
Hey, we're in between lunch and dinner, and my body says I want food now. Action again in the bullpen for Nolensville. Action in the bullpen for the Wildcats as well. Here's the pitch. Hangs in there, and it's a strike. Off-speed, moving pitch, and it hung up just long enough to make Poteet think it was going to be high, but it dropped back in. Just a really beautiful payoff pitch. And that's out number 2. So a real opportunity here with the heart of the lineup up to bat. Mikey Teasley, a 3-hole hitter at the plate with runners at first and second. We're tied up here 4-4 in the bottom of the 6th. If Oak Ridge could take the lead in this inning, they might not have to bat again.
Yeah, Mikey Teasley also has 2 singles in this game and a fly out. So hopefully he can come in here and generate some more runs for the Wildcats. An outstanding hitter, Mikey Teasley.
As there's going to be a mound visit. I'm not sure they're going to replace the pitcher. I think they're going to talk strategy. Mike, here's some strategy for Oak Ridge. Let's hit the ball and score a run.
Hey, I like the way you talk.
And that's why they pay us the big bucks, for that great insight right there.
Exactly.
Preston,
No wonder
what do
your
you?
father called you son. You're so bright.
What? Preston, what do you think's going to happen here? You got 2 outs, runners on first and second. Teasley up to bat. What do you think's going to happen? Let's call the shot.
I'm hoping Mikey hits it outfield. They don't catch the ball and they score.
Hey, I'd take it. I don't really care what happens. As long as the Wildcats score and take the lead, I'll be happy.
No, I do not panic. So I swing like this.
Teasley at the plate. Again, runners at first and second. McClure is the speedster at second. A ground ball just out of the infield could score him. 2 outs for Nolensville. Here's the pitch. First pitch swung on and fouled behind us, way out of bounds, or way out of play, excuse me. As Teasley sees it, shakes his head, and locks back in, ready to go to see the second pitch of the at-bat. Teasley scans the infield, sees where guys are lined up, looks straight down back at the pitcher. Pitcher checks the runners. Now he's going to go home. Swung on, fouled right back again. Teasley bites his lip as if to say, I'm just not quite where I need to be on that. So he knows what he's got to do to adjust, but let's see if we see them go away from 2 fastballs. We've seen that rare but effective breaking ball in this pitcher. 0-2 the count with 2 outs. Mikey can't be picky here, just got to try to put one in play. And that's a strike 3. Mikey does not like it. Mikey does not like that at all.
That ends
As
the 6th inning, due up for
he kind of stands in the,
7th.
just kind of stands in the batter's box for a second in disbelief. Mike, what did you think about that one?
Knee-high fastball, out.
We'll go to the top of the 7th, tied 4-4.
Number 7.
Sharon Wolf is watching. Mike, we've got a YouTube viewer watching from Littleton, Colorado. Do you know where Littleton, Colorado is?
No, I sure don't. I've been to Colorado several times, but Denver's the only place I'm familiar with.
Well, I don't know either, but I would tell you it's probably in Colorado somewhere, Mike. As we head to the top of the 7th, we appreciate you joining and also for interacting with us in, y'all, I'm tongue-tied, interacting with us on YouTube, letting us know. I think it's just always neat to see where folks are watching from. You know, some people in the past have thought that when we stream these games, it takes away from people coming to the games because they want to be lazy and watch it from home. And certainly David Clary thinks the way I think. And I think a lot of people have come around, and it's one of the reasons we started asking people, where are you watching from? Because it was to kind of prove, hey, a lot of the folks that are watching, sure, some folks watch from Oak Ridge or from East Tennessee, but a lot of folks are relatives or former Wildcats that don't live in the state or don't live in the surrounding area, and without it would not be able to watch. And so we look at this as a service to the community, and certainly for decades now, David Clary, you, and so many folks have built Prep Radio and built what we do here, and we're blessed to be a very small part of that. And thank you to David Clary, because he's our executive producer today. He's in Atlanta getting ready for the Braves season, so he's at a ballpark watching Oak Ridge baseball. It's just not this ballpark, but he is saying hello and helping us out with some things as we get set up here today. So back to the action here from Bobby Hopkins Park. It's 4-4. No runs in the last inning for either squad. Excuse me. Nolensville scored 1 run to tie it. The Wildcats will get the last shot at batting. They're the home team. They'll have an opportunity in the bottom of this inning. So at the top of the 7th, though, Nolensville up to bat. A threatening bat at the plate. Wolf almost submarined that ball. He kind of sidearm flung that thing in there. But it was effective. It's in there quickly. And the count is 0-2 to the leadoff hitter for Nolensville. Sidearm again. Shot to the right side, falls harmlessly foul over the bullpen. Of course, the Nolensville bullpen down the right field line, the Wildcat bullpen down the left field line. Both bullpens quiet right now As here's the pitch. Didn't miss by much, but it missed, they say. 1 ball, 2 strikes here for the leadoff hitter in the top of the 7th. Chopper hit back to the pitcher. No, Free's going to field it. Throw it to Webb at first, and a stretches out.
Free to first.
And makes that play. Webb, you know, some people think it's overrated having a guy with some height and athleticism at first.
For the Knights, the shortstop.
But that guy, it's
Number 1.
important that not only
Tyson
are they big,
Martin.
tall, long, and rangy, but they're also kind of flexible and able to kind of to move, because even though you don't necessarily move as much as like a center fielder, you've got to be agile over there on that first base.
Well, he definitely came out of the hole very quickly and got that ball on the very first bounce, and then made a great throw to Joe Webb to get him out at first base.
Parker had a read on that one. I did not. I thought it was going back to the pitcher, but he saw it was going to be short. So 1 out for the Wildcats as Wolf here's a pitch. It's actually not Wolf. It's a relief, different pitcher they slid in on. Man, I did not do that. I think it's Trice on the mound for the Wildcats, so apologies to Trice. Here's the pitch in there, no doubter. And it's 3 balls, 2 strikes now for the Wildcats. They say 1 strike on the scoreboard. I thought that was the second. Doesn't matter as he puts this one in play into right field. He's going to take a wide turn at first base, but no shot to beat that one to second. He'll turn around and go back and touch the bag. So Barney reaches first with 1 out.
Batting now for Nolensville, the designated hitter, number 12, Griffin Hendrickson.
Hendrickson to the plate with a runner, the winning run on first. Pitch a little bit high, but he sneaks it in there for a strike. Pep talk coming from the home or the away side. Nolensville fans trying to encourage the batter here. Again, a long game here as we're over the 2 hour and 30-minute mark, right at that mark. And as much as we've played, this game could change 1 pitch or with 1 swing of the bat. 1-1 the count, 1 out, a runner on first. There's a pitch. Put back up the middle. Could it be a double play? No, he's going to go to first to get it safe out, and that's the right move. It does get the out. And for Nolensville, you don't hate that either, because you did get the runner to advance to second. And I think it was a smart play. I thought for a second the double play was going to be in play, but it just hung in the air, and it didn't get to the second baseman quick enough. So he could have tried it, but Mike, if they weren't able to get that runner at second, there's a chance that they could have come out of that play with no outs.
Well, he really had to charge the ball, and he was actually on the infield grass when he fielded it. So he made the right decision to go to first.
I agree. So 2 outs here. There is a runner in scoring position, though, as that ball misses a little bit wide, and it's ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes, 2 outs here in the top of the 7th. Nolensville, number 3 in the state, playing at Oak Ridge, number 6 in the state, in a highly competitive early season weekend ball game. There's a good pitch in there for strike number 1. Here's a pitch fouled off behind the plate, and it's a pitcher's count. 1 ball, 2 strikes with 2 outs. Runner at second. Trice is 1 pitch away from ending this half of the inning, giving Oak Ridge a chance for a walk-off. I believe it's Joe Webb. Dangerous bat up to the plate to lead things off whenever this half of the inning ends. And not sure where that missed. Really not sure where that missed, Blue.
The Oak Ridge fans didn't like it very well either.
I guess low? I don't know. That looked really similar to where Mikey's was called, but maybe you've got a condensed strike zone because this guy's a little shorter than Mikey, but runner from second steals third, and it doesn't matter because he struck him out. Trice retires the side, and the Wildcats fired up, heading back to their dugout, are one swing away from ending this ball game victorious. It's 4-4. We're all tied up as we head to the bottom of the seventh. Welcome back to Bobby Hopkins Park in a thriller here on a beautiful Saturday afternoon. It's 4-4, bottom of the seventh inning. Oak Ridge looking for a walk-off hit in this half inning to win the ball game. A four-hole hitter, Parker Free, the senior catcher, up to bat for Oak Ridge. He's got the power, so does Webb up to bat next. With one swing, they could end it. Right now, let's just try to get on base. There's a pitch right down Main Street. He watches that one. It's a pretty pitch, Mike.
Yeah, it's right down the pike. I was hoping he'd swing at that one, but came in too fast.
Yeah, it would have been a tough pitch to catch up to. Not a bad take there. Let's see what he does with pitch number 2. Breaking ball fooled him. For a guy who's coming in relief, this shows you the depth. They went 8 innings last night at Farragut. And, you know, this is not their ace or anything, but this guy is really good. Coming out of the bullpen, it's 0-2 for Free, and that one misses high. One and 2 the count. Parker fighting to stay alive at this at-bat. Here's a ball put in play. Is it going to be foul? Yeah. Nearly got it over the third base, but he did not quite do it. But he stays alive. 1 ball, 2 strikes for the leadoff hitter here in the 7th, Parker Free. Here's the pitch. Swung on. Free stays alive. Get some applause from the Wildcat fans to our left. As a hitter, that's your job. Once you get down an account, just fight and stay alive. Free scans the infield. Second baseman nearly back to the grass, playing deep, giving himself some room for error here. Expecting a hard shot here from Free if he makes contact. Here's the pitch. Blasted. Deep left field. Left fielder's going back. He's out of there! Parker Parker Free, with one swing of the bat, has ended this ball game. Final score, Oak Ridge 5, Nolensville 4. Parker Free has put a stamp on this ball game. Wildcats win. What a ball game. What an ending, Mike.
Oh, I loved it. What a shot. Parker Free just won a big one, Alec Myers.
Parker Free with a swagger of a millionaire. He throws his gloves to the left, greets his teammates, and as one fan says to me, after a loss last night at Farragut, Nolensville comes to East Tennessee and leaves 0-2. But the only one we care about is today's game. Tip of the hat to Nolensville, though. What a game, and you can see why they're ranked number 3 in the state. And now they can see why Oak Ridge is ranked number 6 in the state. Tremendous ball game, great atmosphere, and what an ending. Again, final score, Oak Ridge 5, Nolensville 4, as the Wildcats win it on a Parker Free walk-off home run, a deep shot to left field. The ironic part, Mike, no wind for that one. That was not wind-aided. That was a no-doubter from the moment it left the bat. Down 1-2 in the count, Mike. Not an easy spot to hit homer. If you were up 3-0, that's one thing. It was a pitcher's count, and he found a way to fight and stay alive, fouled 2 or 3 balls off to stay alive, and then all of a sudden, the game ends in one swing of the bat.
You know, it went over right center field, which is measured out there at 368. It cleared the fence by 3 feet. What a great shot by Parker Free.
And as a senior, you know, those are the moments. Those are the moments. He could be 90 years old. He's going to remember that pitch. What this program means to him, his family, the blood, sweat, and tears that they've put into this program. Not only his dad, his mom helping at the gate, the concessions all these years. He's got a couple younger brothers that are going to come up to the program. But him playing 4 years, being a starter, all the moments, there's so many of them to think about. And there's more to come, certainly. But that is a huge, huge moment in front of a packed house at Bobby Hopkins Park. You only have so many of those in a lifetime where you're up to bat with the chance to win it. Nonetheless, coming through, not aided. It wasn't a grounder that scored a guy from third. There was nobody on base. Can't say enough about the performance today from all. Let's go back and recap as we're going to try to get somebody, maybe Parker, to do an interview. But, Mike, let's talk about the beginning of that game. The pitching performance from Jackson Geary kept the Wildcats in this game, even when their offense went dull for a couple innings. Geary came in well, Wolf came in well as a relief, and then Trice to get them through that top of that 7th inning. It was a great performance. And then, of course, the bats got hot at the right times.
It certainly did. I tell you, that shot Parker made sent a bunch of really happy fans in this stadium home with a big smile on their face. And it just doesn't get any more exciting than that. High school baseball at its best, Alex Myers.
Preston Fetters, you've done our camera work, and I appreciate you doing that. Your thoughts on this game? You've watched a lot of sporting events with us at the Prep Radio crew, but probably not a lot that have come down to that type of a moment. What do you think about that?
I think that was pretty cool to watch, seeing Parker hit a walk-off, and it was a close game until we went up to bat, and we just won.
Can you do me a favor? You've got the youngest legs in the bunch. I'm going to ask if you can go, and I'll try to run camera for a second, if you can run and grab Parker Free to come up and see if he could do an interview.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. And then Coach Free if possible. And Coach Free if he can, which Coach Free will probably recognize that we're over here. But sometimes the youngsters, Mike, you have to remind them. Although, of course, if you throw a microphone within a half a square mile of you and me, we're going to find that thing, and we're going to start blabbering and yapping.
Well, we definitely are. You know, I saw Parker the other Thursday night, over at Knox Central. And, you know, him and Mikey Teasley, Parker came up first, hit a home run, then Mikey Teasley came right behind and hit a home run. So this is not Parker's first home run of the game, but this is by far going to be one of his most exciting hits. As you said earlier, he's going to remember that for a long time, because this was a very good baseball team we were playing from Nolensville. And I appreciate them coming down all the way down here from Middle Tennessee on such a beautiful day. I just thank goodness it didn't rain, and we dealt with a little bit of wind. That's nothing to worry about. Just a great day for baseball here in Oak Ridge, Tennessee.
Yeah, and you know, that's a good point you bring up. It's a tip of the cap to Nolensville, not only for their performance, but for their willingness to travel and play really good competition, because teams like Oak Ridge and Nolensville, the teams at the top of the sport, could easily play local teams and beat up on them, but they came and they came 0-2, but even in a loss, you're going to get better from playing competition like this, just as Oak Ridge did, win or loss though. And so that takes some guts, and it takes money for a team in high school to come on a 2-night trip like that. And so shout out to them and hats off to them for doing that and for coming to Oak Ridge to play. And certainly I think every fan, I know every fan in the building, no matter who you're rooting for, was rewarded with just an excellent ball game, as Parker Free is on his way. And we'll try to do this. As Parker Free, I'm going to, if you will stay.
Thank you.
Stay. If you'll
Can you
take.
down one more?
Well, if you can stand down right there. I was gonna say I'm gonna have to only have one microphone, so if you'll stay right there, Parker. You just mentioned who you hit that off of. I don't know a lot about Nolensville other than obviously they won the Little League World Series a few years ago, and these guys I'm assuming are part of that group. They've got some talent. They're ranked number 3 in the state. I know that much. I don't know the individuals. That pitcher, for a guy who came in relief, he had incredible stuff, and I thought he was great. Is he one of their main guys?
He's one of their main relievers, but I was just talking to Walter State coach down there, Logan Hullett. He's one of their guys, so he's going to Walter State here soon. So one of the top premier JUCO teams in the nation.
Parker, before we get to the moment at the end that you know I'm going to ask about, but I want to talk to you about just this game as a whole. You know, this is a team that didn't have to come and play good competition. They could have stayed home. They played Farragut, an 8-inning game last night, and they've turned around and play you. Obviously, that's a great team, likely a team that you guys could see later on in the year. But what did you think just about the game for the first few innings? Because it was kind of give and take. Both teams' offenses had some moments, and then I think both starting pitchers did a good job as well, because both teams are really dangerous at the plate.
I mean, we knew coming in that it's going to have to be a dogfight. We're going to have to play our butts off all day long. We're going to have the pitchers throw strikes. And shout out Jackson Geary coming out for the start. Some guy you kind of look out in the team and you're like, man, what does he do to help you all? And he's out there, he shoves every single time, no matter what, always in the zone, always getting outs, and he's so hard to hit. And then also throughout the game, our reliever pitchers coming in there, shutting the doors every single inning, and just the guys putting in opportunities so that we can score and capitalize on some runs.
Let's talk about what we really want to talk about, and I'm sure you would love to talk about, and probably talk about the rest of the day to your friends and family. That last at bat, it didn't look like you were down in the count. I think it was 1 ball, 2 strikes. It's not typically a pitch that you think you're going to get to hit one out. What did you see at the plate? Walk me through that last pitch.
If I'm being completely honest, I was fighting my butt off the whole entire time, but I think it was almost the good Lord. I know that my plan will always work out the way that it's needed to that day. And to be honest, I didn't really see the pitch. I saw the spin, and I just let my body take over, and it happened to catch the barrel and happened to go out.
It's funny, we were talking about it, Mike and I were, all day we kept thinking this wind is going to come into play. And the one shot that leaves the yard, there was no wind. It wasn't wind aided. It was not a cheap home run. But it was one of the deeper parts of the park, at least 350 out there where that fence is. Then when you round the base and see that, you know, I played baseball, but not in high school, so I never hit an out-of-the-park home run like that. So when you're rounding the third base line, it's not like basketball where you hit the last shot and then it's over. You kind of get to enjoy that as you're rounding the bases. Walk me through as you round second and can start to see your guys coming out of the dugout to celebrate. How awesome is that moment?
It's really important to us because we built a family all day long, and every single day we had to fight each individual, and as soon as you're the one that gets the shot, you're rounding second base, you're like, man, I hit that shot for myself, obviously, but you mostly hit it for the people around you and the people that are in that dugout cheering you on every single day. Even if they didn't even play today, you hit it for them because you really put on for the Oak Ridge. You put on for Oak Ridge.
Parker, I've seen you guys, and I love seeing this. You, the baseball guys, are very boisterous at basketball games and at football games. And then I turn around, I see Malik and Tim Walters out here. I see Eli Peters and Charlie Taubenheim out here supporting you guys. What you've created here is a family of Oak Ridge baseball. But it looks like with Oak Ridge Athletics, you've really done the same. Congratulations, and go enjoy this one, all right?
Thank you so much. Have a good day.
You too. Thank you so much. Class act there, Parker Free. Here's another one right behind him, another familiar face. Coach Travis Free. No, I think you're probably good right there. He'll get you. Coach Free, before we talk about anything in the game, I'll let you speak on this Nolensville team. Folks that don't know a little bit, you can talk about them. But I want to say hats off, as far as Oak Ridge goes, hats off for both of these teams scheduling this game. I know they had another good game last night. They weren't scheduling easy teams. This is a tough road trip, and they go home 0-2, but that's a really good team you just faced.
So Nolensville has got back their 3 games in a row as Farragut, Oak Ridge, and then they're going to Siegel on Wednesday and playing Siegel. So arguably 3 of the top 5 teams in the state of Tennessee, early preseason, whatever that means, but 3 of them. But yeah, I just told him, Coach Hudson, again, I said, man, every year let's try to do it. Let's try to play somewhere. We'll even come to you and try to play whatever that may look like. I respect him. They've got a great team. They're well coached every time that we played them. Now that's the 3rd time we played them in the last couple of years, and they're always they got great players, and they do everything right. So it's fun to play.
I know you've built this program and built it not from the ground up, but you guys have totally revamped and revitalized everything. When you came in here that first year, and maybe things around the ballpark roster-wise, things maybe are a little leaner than they are now. This moment, this type of game, this type of environment, a packed house on a Saturday afternoon, did you kind of dream and envision, have visions of stuff like this? How does it feel? Because I know this has got to be as good as it ever imagined, right?
I guess the competitor inside me said at some point we're going to have it to this level. And I guess why coach if you don't think that you can make it to be the best? So, when we took over in 2018 and 19, I mean, the number one thing I was saying, well, we've got to coach them better. We've got to improve the talent level. We have to be able to have the skills in them to be able to know what to do. Second thing that I said, we've got to make the improvements of the facility. And then the third thing will be starting to compete in championships. So, each phase of that has kind of happened. But now, unfortunately, like Coach Gaddis always says, now he said you've created a monster. Because now at this point, everybody expects us to be that, which is hard for us. And that's the third thing that you have to figure out is you have to continue to play teams like this to keep you on edge. But you have to continue to have daily improvement. So that's our job is how are we going to improve them every single day? And how are we going to get better from today? How are we going to take a step forward? Because this is the 3rd game of the season. How are we going to still continue to be ready for McMinn on Monday night in our first district game? So, just trying to stay hungry and always try to improve.
You got McMinn on Monday and Wednesday. It's going to be a tough season. You've got an incredibly tough district. Now to the game. I want to speak before we get to the exciting ending there that we're going to ask about. I want to ask you about the pitching staff. You didn't have Mikey today. You didn't have Joe today. Maybe an unsung hero in this game. He gave up 3 runs, but I thought he really did a phenomenal job. Both starting pitchers did. Maybe not the biggest name guy you've got in Jackson Geary, but I thought without him, this game does not happen.
Yeah, I mean, kudos to all of them. Just thinking about the pitching staff that we just did. Jackson, phenomenal. Was able to make it into the 5th, which we're asking our starters right now, realistically on paper, if we can get them through the 4th, we're feeling really good about it early in the season. He did that. He was able to get it out in the 5th, and he was great. I mean, he kept them on balance. He kept them at bay. Everything that he gave up was singles only. I don't know that he gave up an extra base hit on the day. He controlled the run game. You know what I'm saying? They had to play. They had to get multiple hits to score runs. Then, unsung hero that we don't want to talk about in those moments, a couple key things that happened right here. We brought in Jonah. Jonah went punch out to get us out of a 1st and 2nd 1-out jam. And then we came in and we tied it. And then we got to 2 strikes, and Carson with that runner, after we failed to execute with the runner on 3rd, we went 2 strikes. He fouled off a breaking ball, and then he put a breaking ball in play, got another single to give us a 1-run lead. Like, those things are kind of forgot about through the big moment at the end. But then Trice came in and was his best he's been all year and gave us a clean inning in the 7th to give us a chance to do what we did in the 7th.
And then walk me through that last at bat. I think Parker, it was funny, his response, because I'm thinking, okay, yeah, I saw this and this and that, and it almost sounded like, hey, I didn't really see it that well. I just kind of swung. But he to get to that moment, as you mentioned, there's moments before, he was down, I think, 0-2 or 1-2 for 2 or 3 pitches, and he kept fouling balls off, staying alive. And then walk me through that moment as a coach. And then it's cheesy, but I want to ask you as a father, because that's gotta feel special, seeing your kid have that moment for himself, and then obviously what it meant to the team.
Yeah. It's really, it's kind of a long process for that. Like for Parker and I to have those moments, sometimes we kind of forget about them, to be honest. Like it'll take me a little bit to go. I mean, I'm happy for him because he's the hardest worker we got. I mean, that's one thing that he knows, that like people don't understand. Like he is the leader, he is the voice, he is sets the standard, he is the hardest worker in the weight room, and he lives for that moment, right? So if you noticed in that bat, if you go back and watch it, just watch how he controls his heart rate. He never felt like he was sped up. He always was able to calm himself and get it. Even he took a first pitch fastball strike. He took a breaking ball strike in an 0-2 hole in a big moment, and he was able to continue to just hold himself down and try to keep him grounded, and that's why he's able to get those moments. And so then all it takes is one time to get his barrel to it, and he does it. And as a coach, that's where I'm most proud of him, is he never, ever gets sped up. He just doesn't get sped up. Like he's been there, he's lived it, you know. But then as a father, I mean, it obviously is the greatest joy. Like, because what we've learned and taught him as his father is just stay grounded and stay hungry and just keep working hard, and good things will happen to you. Live your life right and good things will happen. And he does. He lives right, he acts right, and he does everything right. So therefore, in these moments, we know we're going to get it. We know where he's going to execute.
Yeah, he talked about, even mentioned his faith, just staying with it even when things don't go his way, and talking about early in that at bat, they didn't go his way, and he talked about his preparation. And the last thing I'll ask you before I let you go get with your team is they're working hard to prepare for this storm we got coming up. This game, it's an early season game. 2 months from now, you probably don't really care whether you beat them or not. As a coach, you're probably worried about more the experience of being in that sort of a game with that pressure. What does this game do for you and your team? Maybe not just today in the moment, but as you go through the season.
I think the number one thing I'm going to take away from today is Jackson Geary, Jonah Wolf, and Trice Sharp having to come in and pitch their butt off against a top 5 team. Because if we really want to be honest, if we get back to the state tournament and we get there every year that we've been there the last 2, somebody like that has got to go take the ball in the 3rd game of the state tournament and got to find a way to win. And we have not done that to this point. So like today, the experience that I'll draw from this and bring up as we go through the season is you're seasoned. You've been in the biggest moments against the best teams, and you were able to hold them at bay. So that's where I'm going to take away. And obviously, why would we not want to play the best teams, right? If we're going to be the best team, we need to go play the best teams, and that's what we're trying to do through the first couple months of the season.
Coach, congratulations. Go enjoy it with the family and with the team, and appreciate your time.
Thank you. Thank you so much for being here.
We'll wrap things up. I know the wind's kicking. It just blew my Mountain Dew can down the thing, so we'll go pick that up. And in the meantime, Mike, I'll get your last thoughts. James Branson, as always, does a great job up there, and he's ready to get the stuff because he's going to be the bearer of the equipment. So Mike, your final thoughts on just a phenomenal game.
It was. That about sums it up. I just love baseball. I love the way this ended tonight. This is one of the better teams I've ever seen play at Oak Ridge. Back when Sean Summers was playing back in the 90s, about the best of the best teams we've ever had. So I'm really excited for this season, just getting started, and I hope it continues for the rest of the year. And I hope everybody that can get an opportunity to come watch this team live and play, please do. Until then, go Wildcats.
Thank you so much, Mike. Have a happy and safe and blessed trip back. I really, really appreciate you coming out and talking and helping us today. Preston Fetters, appreciate you as well. For David Clary and everybody else, Mark Haste and Shauna Haste behind the scenes, I want to say thank you so much for watching and listening. Go Wildcats. As always, a reminder they'll be back in action on Monday and Wednesday as they take on McMinn County. In the meantime, roll Wildcats, roll.